Today we will talk about estimating project times and costs. Estimating involves predicting or approximating the time and cost required to complete project deliverables. There are two main approaches to estimating: top-down and bottom-up. Top-down estimates are typically conducted by senior management. They derive these estimates through various methods such as analogy, group consensus, or mathematical relationships. An analogy involves comparing the current project with similar projects completed in the past to estimate the time and cost. Group consensus refers to gathering input and opinions from a group of experts or stakeholders to arrive at an estimate. Mathematical relationships involve using mathematical models or formulas to calculate the estimate based on specific parameters. On the other hand, bottom-up estimates are performed by the individuals who will be directly involved in the project work. These individuals estimate the time and cost based on the elements identified in the work breakdown structure, WBS. A work breakdown structure is a hierarchical decomposition of the project deliverables into smaller, more manageable components. Bottom-up estimating involves breaking down the project into these smaller elements and estimating the time and cost for each element. These individual estimates are then aggregated to provide an overall estimate for the project. Now, the question is why estimating time and cost is important. It is important to obtain accurate cost and time estimates in project management. While all project stakeholders desire accurate estimates, they also recognize that projects inherently involve uncertainty. Inaccurate estimates can lead to false expectations and dissatisfaction among consumers. The question arises as to whether the effort put into improving accuracy is worth the time and cost involved. Estimating itself requires resources and expenses. Therefore, project estimating becomes a trade-off, where the benefits of better accuracy need to be balanced against the costs incurred to achieve that increased accuracy. Cost, time, and budget estimates are crucial for project control. They act as a standard against which actual progress is compared throughout the project's duration. Reliable estimates are essential inputs for measuring variances and implementing corrective actions in project status reports. It would be ideal for the project manager and, in many cases, the customer to have a database of detailed schedule and cost estimates for every work package in the project. This level of detailed data gathering, however, is not always feasible or practical. Therefore, alternative methods are employed to develop project estimates in such cases. This slide highlights several factors that influence the accuracy and quality of time and cost estimates in project management. These factors include desire for 95% probability. It is common in the field to aim for a 95% probability of meeting time and cost estimates. Past experience is a good starting point, but additional considerations are necessary to reach this level of accuracy. Project uniqueness. Factors related to the uniqueness of the project strongly influence estimate accuracy. Each project has its own characteristics that need to be considered. Planning horizon. Estimates of current events are more accurate than estimates for distant events. The accuracy of estimates improves as the project progresses and individual work packages are defined. Project complexity. Implementing new technology often leads to expanding time estimates in a nonlinear fashion. Poorly written scope specifications can result in errors in estimating time and costs. People factor. The skills and familiarity of the individuals making the estimates affect their accuracy. The expertise of the estimators plays a crucial role in the quality of the estimates. Project structure and organization. The chosen project structure influences time and cost estimates. Dedicated project teams offer speed but come at a higher cost, while matrix environments may reduce costs but increase coordination demands and project duration. Padding estimates. Estimators often tend to add a little extra time or cost to reduce the risk of being late or over budget. However, excessive padding can lead to inflated project durations and costs, undermining realistic estimates. Organizational culture. The culture within an organization can influence estimating practices. Some organizations tolerate or encourage padding estimates, while others prioritize accuracy and discourage gamesmanship. Non-project factors. External factors like equipment downtime, holidays, vacations, legal limits, and project priority can impact time and cost estimates. Considering these factors can improve the quality of time and cost estimates, which are essential for developing a time-phased budget and effective project control. Okay, here we are discussing the importance of accurate time, cost, and resource estimates in project management. As you know, poor estimates can contribute to project failures. So there are 7 guidelines to develop useful work package estimates. 1. Responsibility. Estimates should be made by individuals most familiar with the task to draw on their expertise and ensure accountability. 2. Multiple estimators. Involving several people with relevant experience and knowledge helps eliminate extreme errors and leads to more reasonable and realistic estimates. 3. Normal conditions. Estimates should be based on assumptions of normal conditions, efficient methods, and a normal level of resources, unless the project is expected to deviate from the norm. 4. Time units. Consistent time units should be selected early in the project development phase, such as workdays or calendar days, to ensure uniformity in time estimates. 5. Independence. Each task should be treated as independent to avoid aggregated estimates that may overlook uncertainties and result in optimistic estimations. 6. Contingencies. Work package estimates should not include allowances for contingencies. Instead, an extra fund for contingencies should be created by top management to handle unforeseen events. 7. Risk assessment. Tasks with higher time and cost risks should be identified, and stakeholders should be informed to consider alternative methods and make informed decisions. By following these guidelines, project managers can improve the accuracy of their estimates and avoid common pitfalls in project management. Okay, this slide discusses the importance of estimating efforts in project management and addresses common misconceptions about the value of time and detail devoted to estimating. It presents various statements project managers may hear that underestimate the importance of accurate estimating. So, there is a need for both top-down and bottom-up estimates. Top-down estimates, often made by individuals with limited knowledge of the project's component activities, can be influenced by external factors and may not represent low-cost and efficient methods. On the other hand, bottom-up estimates, derived from the work package level by individuals with relevant experience, can establish low-cost and efficient methods. Bottom-up estimates serve as a check on cost elements and resource requirements and can be consolidated into time-phased networks, resource schedules, and budgets for control. The bottom-up approach also allows the customer to compare the low-cost, efficient method approach with any imposed restrictions, such as project completion duration. This comparison helps in making trade-offs between cost, time, and resources. Also, we emphasize the importance of reconciling differences between top-down and bottom-up estimates before final negotiations with the customer. In this discussion, we delve into top-down estimating methods at the strategic level of project management. In situations where detailed information is lacking, like in the initial project phase or when the design is not finalized, top-down estimates come into play until tasks in the work breakdown structure, WBS, are clearly defined. The consensus method involves pooling the experience of senior and or middle managers, often utilizing the Delphi method for greater rigor. However, these top-down estimates are preliminary and occur in the conceptual stage, offering a rough cut for initial project development. The ratio method, a top-down approach, utilizes ratios or surrogates to estimate project times or costs, commonly employed in the concept phase. Examples include estimating house construction costs based on square footage. The apportion method, extending from the ratio method, allocates costs based on past projects, suitable for standard projects with minor variations, similar to how banks apportion payments for different construction phases. In the software industry, function point methods utilize weighted macro variables like inputs and outputs to estimate labor effort and cost. This top-down approach, relying on historical data, is adopted by major companies such as IBM and Bank of America. Learning curves are applied for repetitive tasks, predicting time and cost reductions as the task is repeated. It is worth noting that while top-down approaches prove useful at a strategic level, bottom-up estimating methods are generally more accurate, considering specific task time and cost, and minimizing errors of omission and the use of imposed times and costs. Additionally, we can utilize a hybrid approach or phase estimating, which combines elements of top-down and bottom-up estimation methods. This approach is particularly useful for projects with a high level of uncertainty, such as aerospace projects, IT projects, new technology projects, and construction projects with incomplete designs. Phase estimating involves developing a top-down estimate for the entire project and then refining the estimates for each phase as the project progresses. Instead of attempting to estimate the entire project up front, phase estimating employs a two-estimate system. A detailed estimate is created for the immediate phase, where more information is available, while a macro estimate is made for the remaining phases. For example, during the initial phase, a macro estimate is made to provide an understanding of the project's cost and duration, facilitating analysis and decision-making. Instead of attempting to estimate the entire project up front, phase estimating employs a two-estimate system. A detailed estimate is created for the immediate phase, where more information is available, while a macro estimate is made for the remaining phases. For example, during the initial phase, a macro estimate is made to provide an understanding of the project's cost and duration, facilitating analysis and decision-making. Simultaneously, a detailed estimate is created to derive project specifications. As the project advances and more information becomes available, a detailed estimate for the design phase is made, and a macro estimate is computed for the remaining phases. Phase estimating acknowledges that the final product may not be known at the early stages of the project, avoiding commitment to firm schedules and costs based on incomplete information. Instead, the focus is on managing progress and making commitments for the next phase of the project. While phase estimating offers advantages in dealing with uncertainty and enables flexibility in changing features or re-evaluating the project at each phase, it may be met with skepticism from customers. Customers often desire accurate estimates of schedule and cost from the project's inception and may perceive phase estimating as a lack of commitment or a blank check. However, phase estimating provides opportunities for customers to adapt and make informed decisions at each phase, which can be beneficial in projects with significant uncertainties. As you see, this table compares top-down and bottom-up estimates in project management. Top-down estimate is done in the feasibility/conceptual phase to get a rough idea of the project cost. Uses methods like consensus, ratio, apportionment, function points, and learning curves. Accuracy is typically wide, ranging from 20% to plus 60% of the actual cost. Bottom-up estimates, used for more detailed budgeting, scheduling, and resource planning, involves breaking the project down into smaller WBS packages and then estimating the cost of each package. Uses parametric estimating and range estimates to determine the cost and time required for each work package. Generally considered more accurate than top-down estimates, with a range of 10% to plus 30% of the actual cost. In summary, top-down estimates are quicker and easier to do, but less accurate, while bottom-up estimates are more time-consuming but more accurate. The best approach often depends on the project's stage and complexity. Okay, it's crucial to grasp that the level of detail in a work breakdown structure, WBS, should be tailored to the requirements of different management levels within a project. The information provided in the WBS should be no more detailed than necessary and sufficient for each level of management to make effective decisions. Top management typically seeks high-level project information and major milestone events indicating significant accomplishments, like constructing an oil platform or completing a prototype. Their focus centers on overall project progress and outcomes. Middle management may concentrate more on specific project segments or individual milestones they are responsible for, focusing on monitoring and controlling their assigned areas. First-line managers, overseeing specific tasks or work packages, have a narrower scope of interest and require detailed information about the tasks they manage. The WBS facilitates the aggregation of network information, empowering each management level with the necessary information for informed decision-making. It's crucial to strike a balance in the level of detail provided in the WBS, which can vary based on factors such as project complexity, the need for control, project size, cost, duration, and other considerations. Excessive detail in the WBS may lead to a focus on departmental outcomes rather than project deliverables and result in unnecessary paperwork. Conversely, insufficient detail may render the structure inadequate to meet specific organizational unit needs. The WBS provides flexibility, enabling participating organizational units to expand their portion of the structure to meet unique requirements. For instance, the engineering department may further break down their work into smaller packages based on electrical, civil, and mechanical components, while the marketing department may break down their activities by TV, radio, periodicals, and newspapers for a new product promotion. This slide describes different types of costs typically found in a project and explains their purpose in sharpening the control process and improving decision-making. The three main categories of costs are direct costs, direct project overhead costs, and general and administrative (G&A). Overhead costs, direct costs. These costs are directly attributed to a specific work package within the project. They can be influenced by the project manager, project team, and individuals responsible for implementing the work package. Direct costs represent actual cash outflows and must be paid as the project progresses. Examples of direct costs include labor, materials, equipment, and other expenses directly related to the work package. Direct costs are usually separated from overhead costs and are commonly included in lower-level project roll-ups. Direct project overhead costs. These costs are associated with the resources of the organization that are being used in the project. Direct project overhead costs can be tied to project deliverables or work packages. They include expenses such as the salary of the project manager or temporary rental space for the project team. While direct overhead costs are not immediate out-of-pocket expenses, they are real costs that must be covered in the long run for the organization to remain viable. The rates for direct overhead costs are typically calculated as a percentage of the dollar value of the resources used, such as direct labor, materials, or equipment. Different rates may be applied to different types of resources. By selectively applying direct overhead charges, a more accurate cost estimate for a project or work package can be obtained compared to using a blanket overhead rate for the entire project. General and administrative (G&A). Overhead costs. These costs represent organization-wide expenses that are not directly linked to a specific project. They are incurred throughout the duration of the project and include costs such as advertising, accounting, and senior management salaries. The allocation of G&A costs varies among organizations, but they are typically allocated as a percentage of the total direct cost or the total of a specific direct cost category, e.g., labor, materials, or equipment. The breakdown of costs into these categories allows for better cost control and decision-making in a project. By categorizing costs appropriately, project managers can track and accumulate costs for specific deliverables or the entire project. Profit can also be added as a percentage if the project is being executed by a contractor. It is important to note that perceptions of costs and budgets may vary depending on the users involved. The project manager needs to be aware of these differences when setting up the project budget and communicating them to others. The timing of budgeted costs and their actual occurrence is crucial for measuring project schedule and cost variances, which are used to assess project performance. All right, there are several reasons why actual costs and schedules in projects often exceed the original estimates. Here are the main points. Interaction costs. Task estimates are typically done independently, but in reality, tasks are interdependent and require coordination and interaction. Time and costs associated with managing interactions, meetings, and resolving disconnects between tasks are often underestimated. Normal conditions do not apply. Estimates are based on normal conditions, but resource shortages, such as people, equipment, or materials, can extend task durations and increase costs. Outsourcing tasks can also add time and costs due to the need to acclimate outsiders to the project and organization. things go wrong on projects. Unforeseen events like design flaws, extreme weather conditions, accidents, and other risks can impact project costs and schedules. While it's not possible to plan for every risk, the likelihood and potential impact of such events should be considered. Project scope and plans change. As the project progresses, a better understanding of the project's requirements may lead to changes in plans and costs. Changes driven by customer demands or market competition can also impact costs and schedules. Over-optimism. People tend to be overly optimistic when estimating how quickly they can complete tasks. Research suggests that individuals often underestimate the time required to complete activities. Strategic misrepresentation. Some project promoters may intentionally underestimate project costs and overestimate benefits to gain approval. This is particularly true for large-scale public works projects. We also need to emphasize that estimating projects accurately is challenging due to the uncertainty of predicting the future and the limitations of available information. However, effective organizations recognize that estimates based on the work breakdown structure, WBS, are just a starting point. They make appropriate revisions to estimates as they gain a better understanding of risks, resources, and project particulars. These adjustments help account for specific actions to mitigate risks, changes in resource availability, and abnormal conditions. It is important for organizations to have a change management system in place to accommodate these situations and make necessary adjustments to the project baseline. By recognizing the limitations of initial estimates and making informed revisions, organizations can improve the credibility of their project plans, maintain accountability, and adapt to unforeseen challenges.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.